What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream. We're back in our Deck Knight project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++ blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all of that good stuff. So today, we're still working outside of the engine. You know, we're not really going to touch our prototypes just yet. I really want to get a handle on our cards and what our UI will look like, how it will all kind of function. So I don't really want to jump further more into development until I kind of understand more clearly what I'm making. And then hopefully things will fall in place when it comes to implementation. So right now, you know, we have very simple mechanics, and we kind of want to outline what the UI is going to look like, and then we'll know how to develop our cards. We'll start categorizing our cards. We have a pretty robust damage system as well, so hopefully some things will fall into place easier than others. So let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, we're working on the main UI mockup. This is my mockup number 1. I got some feedback already from people from our Discord that like the health and these resources shouldn't really be too separate from the ability slots and everything like that. So I did find a good reference. The name of the game is Netherwind or Netherven. The W is a V in this case. And it has pretty similar concepts that I want to make. Like there would be possible stacking, and you have your passives. I'm assuming these are passives. These passives will probably get leveled up over time. And you got like a health bar, you got the character icon. So I'm wondering, because they use very square shapes, so you know there is potential to do the same. So I want to just see what that looks like in this context. So I'm gonna copy and paste that. And so the basic idea, we grab this, it's somewhere along there. Luckily these can be kind of copied over. I don't need the text. Let me also lock this in place. I might group these together. And then you got the health bar and the text. So they do the health bar information kind of in the middle, which maybe makes sense too. Let me grab that. Let me group it. Yeah, the text, they align middle, right? Let me send this to the front. So this some overlap. And yeah, they make it pretty big, honestly. But maybe that's okay. Maybe the text could be like a medium. There's that. This seems to be pretty big. I'll just kind of grab it like that. And then in their example, the ability bar is on top. And I think the icons are also at the bottom. So we can kind of keep that idea. So it's something like that. Definitely some space above it. This probably can be moved in. Oop. Group these things. Sure. Go. So it does something like that. And then, yeah, you got the abilities. They have 5 abilities as well, which is interesting. We have 6. Like, we have an evasive ability on top of it. But maybe we can make it 4 abilities, and the evasive is like the 5th one or something like that. We can play around with that idea. But maybe just a wee bit smaller and something like that. Kind of matches in there. Like, it sort of doesn't work because this is like a square shape. I wonder if I can crop this as a square instead, just so we have a squared shape to work with. Kind of like that. And then there is the potential for these things. Let's group that, copy them, to then be like here. So that all can kind of exist there. Maybe these all could be moved down just a wee bit. Maybe these moved in a little bit like that. So we get the alignment of the square. Maybe even more so like that. Because I think they like hardcore almost put it there. So something to that effect. So everything's kind of what's the word? Concentrated in the bottom left. And then then still have this. Oh. We still have this here. And the graveyard maybe could be like here. The deck could be here. Not sure. Or they can be more concentrated in the corner. Not sure where these elements would go. I like to tell you how much is in your deck and how many are in your discard pile. But I could see that, so I could see that working decently well. Label this as a mock-up number 2. But where these can go, I'm not sure. I do wonder if I'll keep this as a second mock-up, but maybe something like this. They would have to be the same size in some way, but for now it's whatever. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that, but like the way this and this are kind of put into the UI, I think that's messy. Could be something like this as well, just kind of put them off to the side like that, kind of similar to here. That's not bad, but probably could be better. So the things I potentially would want to keep, like maybe this could work where it's like this whole left side. Let me unlock that. So this whole left side, right? Maybe makes sense. Can the cards be handled in a different way, a more interesting way? Like, can there be a health bar above the player instead? So, or player. The health bar here and some status effects. Things are in the bottom left corner for things like Hades. Yeah, one thing I wonder if there's a way to like get this kind of curved shape for the cards over here. Well, let me group them. Let's see. How does this look? Let me grab a copy of it. Because yeah, they're all almost the same size, except they're masked on the bottom of the screen. And there'd be something like this, like there. But, you know, appropriately masked. Let me just delete those real quick. Whoop. I rotate this slightly. And it just seems, maybe that's too much rotation. It seems like the cards on the right are higher than the ones on the left. Like the seams right. That this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's try 6 cards. So just don't know how I'm gonna simulate like how it would look like masked. One, 2, 3, 4, 6. So something. Something to that effect. Not perfect. Kind of look like that. Let me take that hand. But yeah, the bottoms would be kind of masked out. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm gonna simulate that. Prop. Much like it's too skewed. I think it kind of looks off. Yeah, I hope it makes sense. Yes, potentially these two could be the same. Don't know if I like that though. Was a game on Steam. It was like a deck builder, Souls like. Someone on this other Discord channel made that game. Let me see if I can find his post. Death Howl. Let's see. Let's take a look. See. I think I bought it. Right? Store page. Let's see if we can watch a little bit of gameplay. So yeah, the cards are at the bottom. Yeah, you got the colors, you got the numbers, you worth the points, so you can easily discern them. You can make multiple decks, so it's like deck builder. But they have theirs just flat. There's no curvature in the way that they're displaying the cards, so maybe it's not the end of the world that mine doesn't. I'm excited to play this one. Deck builder games. If we can get some cool references. They got their cards splayed out at the bottom here. Let's just look. Let's see if we can catch things that we think are cool. Yeah, again, their cards are flat. You know, all the cards are always dead center too. So I don't know. Like, that kind of stuff, like, curious how that could look. Oh, why did I close that? Because again, their UI is interesting, but yeah, it's not exactly like a lot of the combat is grid based in the front. So, you know, they have a lot of real estate in terms of UI. So, unless maybe the UI, we can maybe do the inverse of this, where we say the stuff is at the top left and the cards are at the bottom. So let's lock you in place. Like, what if I move this up? Maybe this is way long. Like this is longer. Maybe this is up here. Or maybe this is not even there. Let's just do a 1-to-1 and then we'll try some other stuff out. Let's bring you like that. Maybe. Hey, we got a sleepy kitty. Something like that. Seems a little much. Let me make it a little smaller across the board. Like, I'll make this a little thing like that. That's fine. And I think we probably can keep that size. Like, I don't know if there needs to be like a 1-to-1 to like get a health bar to the size of this thing, but for the sake of making it that way, I think there can be a little bit of shrinkage here. Maybe a little closer to the edge. And this could be moved up to like here. So all the stuff's up there. Then the cards would be kind of like that center. And we can have here. And I kind of like that center. What's that center? Oh my god, what did I just do? Let's take these out for a second. This is dead center. So that's another option. So kind of inverse of what this is doing. Not bad. Like, I really want to see. Ooh, sorry, I got distracted by Kitty. I do want to see the cards on the bottom. Just wonder how readable it is. But hey, at least we got some ideas. Let's organize this a little better. Oh. That. Huh? Right. Alternatively, like, I do wonder. I know, another mock-up, of course. Hey, Lola, you coming to life? I think you want to lay down and get some more Z's, boo boo. She wants to clean herself. Okay. This is 5. So for this one, let's get rid of these circles entirely. For one. Let's get rid of the character portrait. Let's put the health bar here. Put passives here. Put the abilities here. That could, like, make, and so now the card resources can maybe go as numbers. So let me just, kind of like the Slay the Spire style, right? You have this telling you your current and your max, right? So maybe we could do something like that. I'm just gonna grab one. Probably could do better than that. Let me grab one. Good. Let's move you out of the way. Maybe over here. So say, for example, something there. Maybe it could be up a little bit, and maybe this could be here, or this could be moved over. This can go here. Be like here. A little bit. A little longer. Place like that. Let's get some text, and we'll say 3 out of 3, like their example. Right. Medium. Let's group these two together. Whoop. Maybe something like that. And like the UI can be tricky. Again, make a bunch of stuff on the top. Left. maybe that's okay. Like, we could do it, like, also the inverse of this one to see how it could look. I'm also trying to think if there's any diegetic way of giving some information, stuff that doesn't have to be explicitly in the UI. We can look at a couple more references in a few moments here. I just want to do it again, the inverse here. This one. Well, let me put this here, this here. Oh, now 6. More or less will duplicate 5 in the sense that same thing, but very limited Y. Probably, I don't know if that's enough or if this has to go underneath. This whole thing could be up a little bit. Let's be up here. And so now everything is kind of free down here for your cards. Let's look at more stuff. Yeah, the cards pretty slick. See, they have illustrations that are clear and to the point. What's the rating on this? Overwhelmingly positive. So, you know it's good. Must buy for any roguelike fan. Let's put some stuff on our wish list while we're here. Okay. What other deck builders do we have? Cards. It's free to play. Seems very Gwent-esque. Snap. Mixed reviews. Seems to be very Marvel-y. Let's look at ones that are mostly negative. We can look at this one, see what people don't like. I've also played the first Shadowverse for about 3 years in this game on mobile, so not all hours were on my account. But they got a lot of flashiness when you're executing cards. I don't know if you really want that much. Character selection. Yeah, we're looking at some references and some examples. See what we can pull from. I started making a few different I made a few more mock-ups. This was the original. And for mock-up number 2, we kind of ripped one-to-one the one from another one. Where everything's kind of concentrated in the bottom left. Uh-oh, we got a kitty who wants to leave. Hold on. I don't want to jump in. Everyone say hi to Boo Boo. Then we got one where like the cards are more like I wasn't able to figure out how to cut it correctly, so that they're kind of excluded out at the bottom there. But This is a version where the cards are kind of curved. Then we got an example where things are concentrated in the top left in a very similar way to this one being bottom left. This is top left. And then this gives room for the bottom to have all the cards in it. In this version, we got rid of the character thing. And we changed this UI for the card resources, like telling you how much you have. We changed it to be some sort of numeric visual representation like this, kind of pretty much like Slay the Spire. Just to have, a little less UI in there. And then this last one is the same mock-up, except the stuff is in the top left. And then you still have like the cards at the bottom. And then you have your discard pile. I think this is the discard pile, and then this is your deck. So figuring out what that looks like, I think is also going to be pretty important. We could have like a stack of cards on either side representing it. So like, for example, I guess we could just copy one of these. We'll take a red one. Or we could just, let's take this for now. We could say like, this is your like discard pile. I'm not sure how to visually represent it very well at the moment, but I'll say just discard or graveyard. I don't know what people call it typically. I used to call it graveyard. Graveyard. Then, this side is your deck. So every time you draw, it gets pulled from this into your hand. Every time you use it, it gets discarded to this side. Maybe that's enough. We'd have to think a little bit. But I think that could be interesting. I don't know what you guys think. So far, my favorites are the ones where the cards can be like dead center in the middle. And possibly this could... Can I make these... Should be able to make this transparent, right? Oops. How did I open Godot? What did I do? Scaling image, aspect ratio. Place image. Plugins. I would imagine these could be a little transparent or something like that, just to make it a little bit more feasible. Or maybe like half off screen or something. Take up a little less space. So far, let me also just copy. So let me just take this out. Group this. So far, so far 4 and 6 are my favorites. Yeah, let's keep looking at some references. If anybody else has references, let me know. I'm just looking at deck building games. Adding stuff to our wish list. So two user reviews. Okay. Definitely like how things are animated and how they kind of look. All looks super flashy. Working, working, and twerking here. Hell yeah, brother. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, Terry. Glad you're hanging around. It's coming. Let's see. Thing. Victory. Pretty straightforward. So I'm guessing the cards are what's on the left hand of the screen. Not much to gather. Yes, good action RPG game UI. Is there... Okay, so what are your favorite action RPG HUDs? When in doubt, let's ask Reddit. So, Bloodborne. Okay. Let's see. Game UI database. If you're not familiar with this website, definitely check it out. You can look at all the elements. Game state, stats and resources. Character customization and game menu. So HUD and overlays. So now, Bloodborne definitely uses and takes advantage of the top left corner space for things. So you have your stamina and your health up here. And they're pretty narrow bars. Like I have to try to understand how thick does this UI bar really need to be? I feel like maybe that's enough, and I don't know if it needs like does it have, can it be thinner? Can it be like that? Is that like too thin? Like I feel like that's a decent size. And yeah, like let me crop this bitch in a circle. Let me see if I can make this look better. Yeah, it's a really good website. Like it's crazy. I don't know how many games. Like there's a shit ton of games on here that you can look at. And then you got your boss monster stuff under here. Other resources. It's not exactly what you're seeking, but do you know Hand of Fate? I don't know Hand of Fate. Let's check it out. Let me just get Steam on a different tab. So 1 and 2, you say. So, you know, if it's got cards in it, it's a decent resource already. Definitely seems like something I'm going for, honestly. But how does this work? It's hard to tell based on that trailer. So deck building comes to life in Hand of Fate, an infinitely replayable series of quests. Earn new cards, build your deck, then try to defeat it in a cabinet. I definitely like the cards. Just don't know. Oh, I mean, this is also interesting. The way they have it over here. Let's look at the second game. The hit stops are kind of crazy on that. It looks cool. I'll have to play a bunch of these games, I think, honestly. Let me add this to my wish list. Maybe my next paycheck I'll go ham on it. It's 107 Zloty. Was that like 20 bucks? Is this new? No, it's almost 10 years old. I'm surprised that it's that much. There's a DLC bundle, though. For just 50 Zloty more. And buy everything for it. It's like 70 bucks. No. But yeah, thanks, Talos. That's a good reference. I appreciate that. Check out the UI for Persona 5. Okay. Say less. Not sure if they mean which Persona 5 are they talking about. Home states, stats, resources. Game and his interact. Excuse me. So, you know what I like. What I like about this stuff, and it works really well, of course, in turn-based games. Yeah, you remember when it was released? Now you probably feel old, huh? So what I like about this, and you know they didn't clear obscure as well, is like how it's pseudo diegetic, the UI, right? It seems like it's in the world, which is really cool. I don't know how I can do that. Oh yeah, I wanted to crop this bitch, right? Like one aspect, I forget the guy's name on Twitter. Let me see if I could just happen across this timeline, or across his profile on my timeline. Recently saw him make a comment on what's his name, Crimson. Yeah, Crimson Dev. Remember he made. So, Jacob Wahlberg. He was working on a prototype. If you don't know Jacob Wahlberg, I suggest you follow him. He makes a lot of cool shit. A lot of cool prototypes. But there was one prototype he was working on a while ago. Now he's making like a spellcrafting me world thing, but with like a rabbit. How long ago was this? My god. also been making a racing game, which looks pretty cool. But at some point, yes, here we go. At some point, at least with the enemies, let's see if we can see an enemy. So you see the health bar is quote unquote diegetically underneath them. But I don't know how useful that would be for the player. I could see it making a lot of sense for enemies, just to clear up some more space for the UI, because I can imagine, and we already kind of see it now. When you have all these enemies around, these things tend to overlap and kind of get into each other's way. And so I would have to figure out how to best handle that at some point. But maybe there's a way to incorporate that with a player. If anything, for like maybe a representation of this, or I also want to have the mechanic of a builder spender with your melee ability. Let's see if I can kind of remind myself, because yeah, I want you to be able to smack and shit, and then it charges up for this attack, right? Like you get that big payoff, you get that kind of stuff. So I'm wondering if like we can just have that representative in the game UI, like in the actual world on the player character. I'm also debating if we really want to have a jump attack or anything like that. Just because, jump attacks. How would I make such a UI that's attached to the player work well when I'm in the air or falling or anything like that? So I would just have to be careful. Okay. So I kind of want to somehow mock that up. Like, I don't know if it would be, because like the other issue is, like, do I have to then kind of lock myself into that kind of perspective for the camera in order to make this UI visible? For example, with these kinds of games. Let me bring up the trailer again for this game, because I think it's a good reference. Like the Hades kind of camera. Like, I think the health is also on them too. Seems redundant. But yeah, like, maybe I need to lock myself into that kind of perspective, because Hades is in that perspective as well. There's just cinematics, there's a gameplay at some point. Yeah. Like, there definitely is an angled perspective in which you'll be able to see the UI. So, like, I wonder if I need to, like, I don't know if I need to, like, zoom out more and then change the FOV. Can I change the FOV? like that, and like work like that, except you can't rotate the camera anymore. And I wonder then, for example, say for example, we're locked into like this perspective, right? I can then make like a UI around the player that could represent this, the charge, and maybe there could be something that represents the number of, card resources they have. I don't know. But if I'm not able to rotate the camera anymore, for example, right, with the right thumbstick, maybe I can then use this left and right to switch between the cards, rather than left trigger and right trigger. And then, then I guess A would select rather than jump, or I can use right trigger to select. Let me see what it looks like to fight an enemy. I think that looks good. I think I can make that work. Some stuff to think about, I think. Because yeah, I want to make sure there's decent enough visibility. Whoop. So definitely, I probably should take a screenshot with this separate perspective. So we already got a good amount of mockups. But let's keep going. We still got, 20, 30 minutes to figure something else out. So let me also find the UI. Yeah. Let's make it in. Go. Let's go over here. Let's disable all screen messages. Let's make the FOV 55. Let's scroll out. And let's assume that's an okay perspective, I think. And I think so. I guess I can maybe get up real quick. What are some common camera properties? Isometric changes. I want to know some common FOVs, spring arm distances, So typical range, 30 to 60 degree downward tilt. Camera distance, usually constant during combat. Small dynamic zooms. But almost always perspective, not orthographic. So soft follow, not hard lock. Bend zone radii, axis constraints. So fading geometry, X-ray materials and walls. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. Smart design, framing priority. Player's always the anchor. Camera shake and feedback, verticality handling. Input mapping assumptions. Didn't see anything about FOV. So most common 45 to 60 degree FOV. So 55 to 60. So yeah, that's where I ended up. What is something like 50? Maybe 50 is good. Okay, so let's go. I know my camera does some stuff on its own. Is there camera settings? Oh, this is so fucking legacy. So yeah, min distance, max distance. So let's go full max distance. So default. So nothing about FOV. Maybe I should put that in there here as well. So camera speed rotation. So they say most common is 800 to 1200 units. Let's see what 1200 looks like. Readable. So that's what it would look like. This is 1600. Let's now come in, max pitch angle, default Z offset. Does Z offset have to really be a thing? Can that be 0? Let's look at references real quick. Base. Character. Let's look at the camera here. We might not need this anymore, depending if you want to still keep some sort of profile there. But yeah, camera boom, that's all could be set, but they said about 60 degree tilt. Around 45 degrees, so 1 up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So that's camera boom. So can I do follow camera? Does that get reflected? Oh no. What did I do? What did I do? Is it this offset? Oh. How did I mess that up? Maybe let me not use camera settings for a hot second. Camera settings. Let's just clear that out. What do I get? I just up. Hey, stupid me. It's not safeguarding against the camera settings, so that's fun. Okay. Well, we'll fix that. All right, before I end the stream, I just gotta fix this camera. I also today I got some Pokemon packs in the mail. I bought a couple booster boxes for Prismatic Evolutions and the 151. I forget what it's called. And I got some hits. I'm very happy about that. I got the Squirtle SIR, and I got like this Zapdos one. Let me see if I can show you guys. Got this bad boy. Pretty sick. And then I got, like in one pack, I got 2 Zapdos. Like I got this one with the bird trio. I think this is also an SIR, but this one looks really sick. And I got this EX. Pretty happy with those. I need to get more pages for my ongoing binder. I'm collecting Prismatic, and I'm collecting the 151. I do have some stuff from like Mega Evolutions and stuff like that, but I'm gonna wait on those for a bit. Yeah, let's put camera settings back and follow camera. Let's undo that rotation. Okay, so we're back. So I think the actual rotation needs to be maybe in the there, but like the rotation doesn't seem like it's doing anything. So maybe like, what if I don't inherit pitch? Yeah, so now I can't move it, right? Which is good. Well, I can just say don't use that pawn controller, right? Now we're kind of, well, now we're still technically able to move for some reason. The head's still doing shit, so we might even need that. So let me take off that. Now I have to see why I'm able to still rotate. Maybe it's best to just leave that. Yeah, is it all happening on construction? Maybe because we do the attachment. Camera does not rotate relative to the arm. But yeah, this gets set to false anyway. Oh no, the camera does. Let me just see what this looks like if I enable it. I gotta look funky. And I constrain the aspect ratio. I change the FOV to 55. So essentially, I want to start like here. Like, I don't really want to be behind, but I just don't understand why the values aren't really updating. I'm not doing anything. I don't think it's construction script, right? This is the profile thing. I don't think the stuff in the C++ is doing that. Like, we get all this inheriting stuff. So anyway, so that's good actually. Setting up attachment, but there's nothing past that point, I think. The target arm length is going to get overridden anyway, but that rotation is so confusing to me because, like, this, I don't want to. Not because of anything like that, right? Socket offsets. Target offset. Actually, not much. I kind of want it like minus 1,000. It's too much, I think. Yeah, how can I make sure the camera's rotation, like, it all gets kind of reset? I wonder if I could just go. Is it on begin play if that happens? No. Oh, camera settings. So initialize camera. So that does a bunch of the stuff. So let's, for now, comment that out. See the results. Got 10 more minutes. You know, doing these exercises with the UI, it's really helping me answer some questions, honestly. It's pretty cool. So we're not initializing anything. So yeah, now we're offset like crazy. But does that apply? If I rotate like that? Kind of, yeah. But oof. Probably don't want to do that. Like, to me, thought rotating that would make sense, but it doesn't seem to be making sense. Does this make a difference if I do it this way? Yeah, that is better, but yeah, still need to somehow I did that. Definitely seems right. Until I started rotating. So let me just knock those out. Still able to move. Follow camera, that's all disabled. Let's assume so far so good. Let me now make this 1,000. I just gotta have it point towards me, really. I don't know if I'm doing something like fucked up. Well, clearly I'm doing something fucked up. I feel like, let me just make a character class real quick. Like, I feel like if I do camera boom, spring arm. Should be able to do something like that. But for whatever reason, oh wait, this does do it. Am I stupid? I could be stupid. Let's start over. I'm here, right? So I want to do something like that, and then something like that. Except I don't want the camera to be tilted. See, now there's like all this pawn control shit that's broken. Did my editor just crash? Let's do that. Let's see what that looks like in practice. Let's see. Then I'll have to rewrite my camera settings. To be a little more simple, I think. Let's see. Get a couple things open here. We don't need this fireball stuff. Yeah. Whatever that's doing. That's not what I wanted it to do. Can I use pawn control? Yes. So that works. This position is wrong. And I think I know why. Oh. Ooh. Elf male. I think I'm doing something on begin play. If I'm not mistaken, either an elf male or character base. So yeah, we're doing the snapshot capture scene. Yeah, target offset. Yeah. Let's not do that. That's good, but why is... Oh, maybe it didn't save. See, now it's not pitching around again. Like, what kind of fucked up situation is that? Is it because this needs to be... Okay, so that is what is neat. So okay, so I should be able to do it like that. I hope. See what it looks like on gamepad. So feels wrong. Like I'm going forward on the thumbstick. Doesn't feel like I'm going directly straight. Maybe I'm wrong. Something like 1600. Yeah, like this looks like I'm going forward on the thumbstick. I'm not going up. So something is funky. Yeah, so if I use pawn control rotation there, but then not here. Like this is kind of right. Like I'm going up and I'm moving around, but not sure where the offset is really. Oh my god. Yeah, let's not inherit anything. Camera lag, yes. So I'm really not sure. Like, maybe that does not need to use pawn rotation either. Okay, this feels right. But I feel like I need to be further away. Oh, I think I commented out that line of code, right? To initialize stuff, socket offset, and everything like that. So I should be able to do it here. So I think it's 1,000 away. Probably like, well, yeah, target arm length is there. So maybe I don't know why it's doing that. And then corrects itself. Like, that's weird. I have those inherit. Yeah, it's still messed up. But actually, the camera. Yeah. Oh, it's 1 degree. Just why is that 1 degree? If I reset the rotation on that, is it perfectly straight then? Hello. Yeah. It's all kinds of fucked up. $240. Look good. Okay. So, like again, like camera's perspective is good, but control stuff is still messed up. So like, does that affect anything? Yes. I want to use control rotation of that. Can I use? So still messed up. Am I doing anything in code? I should have like a move, right? Control rotation. Feel like I got to do something. I think this is good. Thank you so much. Look up 25. Stable rotation. Stable. Yeah. Goes to stable. Let's see what that looks like in practice. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. Not that. That's fine. Inherit yaw. I don't think that matters, right? Oh. I feel like Maybe I don't truly want it offset like that. Yeah, I do want it like this. Yeah, when I'm moving left and right with the camera, this all gets messed up. So potentially, just came to say hi. Hope you guys are doing great. Hey, what's up, Super Tenchu? Use dash animation. I mean, it's a dot. It's like a roll. And I guess I did that. Now I'm a fireball. Ooh. Yeah. So I think like I would imagine like, this perspective works better, where you're looking at it like this. So now I'm moving correctly, but it's because I moved the camera. So I'm, like I want to move around like this, but and with this perspective. But yeah, I'm moving the left and right thumbstick, and it kind of gets all jaded, fucked up. So I'm wondering what's causing that. I guess we would have to dig in later. So more or less, this is a pretty good angle. Maybe like most say 45 degrees. They also say like orthogonal or orthogonal. Instead of perspective, it's this one. So. This looks like. Oh. That could work. Oh, does that seem too flat? $1,100. Gameplay looking pretty good. I hope so. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I do wonder if we lose the sense of that. Maybe not. Yeah, I gotta figure out though what's going on. With, well, I guess I got to like potentially so find out which way is forward so we get the control rotation. Maybe we also gotta add the camera rotation. So let's try this one last thing. So plus, what is it? Get camera boom. Yeah. Do I have to say like const? Let's just try this one line and then we'll end here. So camera. That. And then, so why did we change the camera angle? Because I'm thinking, like if I want to have some more like diegetic UI, you know, possibly showing stuff underneath the player, we need this kind of camera angle in order to see those things more clearly. I want at the very least take a screenshot of this and use this as like part of the UI mockup, because I do want to go for like the Hades style, and maybe this could help add some diegetic stuff underneath the player. Maybe have and just trying things out, I guess. So maybe people hate it, maybe people like it. I don't know yet. I'll have to see and form my opinion as well. Let's see if adding those vectors together does anything interesting. And if it doesn't, we'll revert the change and then we'll continue this next time. We got Kitty again. What do you think about it, Talos? Do you prefer the old way or? Oh my god. Alright, the whole thing is shaking because the kitty jumped back in the basket. Because I also wonder if we limit the camera angle and we don't let you rotate the camera, we do get some input benefits, I think, when it comes to at least gamepad. Where you can use the right stick, maybe we can use that to iterate over your cards in your hand and stuff like that, rather than the left trigger, right trigger. You prefer the old version? Okay. It's like with the old version, you know, still, you know, we still get that far distance, but I'm thinking maybe we should tilt it up and have it as a fixed camera angle, but who knows? Oh, woo, we're spinning in a circle. So that didn't work. That didn't work. Maybe it's not. So get component rotation. Let's just try that. I have to call it a day. Because maybe it doesn't have to be what's the two versions? The perspective and orthogonal. I don't know. Orthographic. That's the word. What about both depending on the level? I don't know. Why would you want to switch perspectives like that? interesting thought, but I'm not sure. Still spinning in circles. Shame. Okay. My cat looks very annoyed at me at the moment. She's giving me the stank eye. Let's just revert this, and then we can look at it. I think you can find a simpler way to play cards. Like, cards can be in linear sequence, and player can choose to play the current card or return it to the deck. Maybe? Right, like, do we punish players at all? Like, could they? I guess the point is, like, they would just look at a card, not like it, and kind of send it back into the deck and get a new card. So I feel like that would promote. I don't know if that would promote anything bad, but so there's our thing. And then if I subtly do a correction of like the right thumbstick, I eventually get to the perspective that, when I say perspective, I mean the rotation that makes the most sense, like this. So I would have to see what could be going on with that. But yeah, that's what orthogonal. The graphic, and then perspective. We get something like this, which maybe is better. Definitely lose a lot of. I don't want it to be so flat, I guess. Neon White had something like that, but it's not a card game. Okay. I mean, I can always look at that as a reference. Okay, 2 more minutes, I swear. So I want to figure out this bug if I can. Of course, I'm just brainstorming. Don't take it seriously. No, I appreciate any ideas, any thoughts on the matter. It gives me something to think about. So never apologize. Well, you didn't apologize, but yeah, don't think you're causing any problems or anything like that. I inherit my yaw. So yeah, see, when I inherit yaw, then I can move it around, right? Maybe it's in my controller. Hold on, so that worked. Like, this follows it correctly, but like, I would want it. Maybe I'm just thinking about it all wrong. Maybe it's okay that we're in the center and we're not offset or something like that. Like, I don't want to really have it inherit yaw. Okay, so maybe it's something in the character movement component. So orient, rotation of movement, it's true. I think I'm updating rotation. Yeah, so this is all correct. Okay, so it's saying if you rotate the spring arm directly and not the controller, then use the boom's world rotation yaw instead. So maybe it's what I was trying to do earlier. Oops. Const hammer yaw. All right, last time, I swear, I super duper swear. Oh, Poo-Poo, you're so mad at me. But yeah, for serious, I got end the stream after this attempt. If it fails, I'll, revert things and go from there. But I'm more convinced to do an isometric camera. It doesn't have to be orthogonal. You could stay in perspective, but I think it could help with some stuff. So I'm spinning in circles again. I'm not sure why. Shouldn't that number be pretty stable? Why shouldn't it be 60? So I'm gonna end it there. So thank you everybody for watching. It's all very much appreciated. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you're watching from Twitch, make sure to follow. I don't think we're going to stream over the weekend. I'll definitely put out some short form content going over what we did this week. But we'll definitely try to continue next week, continuing our UI mockups. See if we can lock in some more ideas, because I think we're getting close. I feel it in my plums. So I appreciate y'all. I don't know why I said y'all. I appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend coming up, and I'll see you soon.